Welcome back to this episode of the Junk Monkeys podcast. My name is Daniel. I'm joined with my friends Randy.
Hey.
And Brad.
Hey, guys.
On this episode, we're doing Music Episode 2. Wow.
Yeah, let's go.
I like music.
Yeah.
It's been a long time since we did our first episode.
Yeah, since episode 9.
It was episode 9. That doesn't feel right.
Nope.
It was
It feels like it wasn't that long.
Did you guys know we're in our episode 40s?
It doesn't feel that long ago. It
No.
feels like it was like, I don't know, in the 20s maybe.
Yeah, totally.
It wasn't though. It was really early on.
Yep.
So we're going to have a conversation about our new music that we've been listening to, new songs we've been checking out, artists, albums, and we've got a lightning round at the end. So stick around and listen to this episode of the Junk Monkeys podcast. I can fix that. Yeah, I know, it's funny. Look.
Oh, no.
Brad. We're not like Gen Z. I feel like you're pretty Gen Z.
I'm pretty Gen Z, maybe, yeah. What is the next one?
I
Gen
don't know
X?
what we're saying right now.
No, Gen X is the gen before millennials.
Oh.
We're on to we've already had Gen Alpha, and now we're having Gen Beta.
Who comes up with this?
I don't know.
I don't
Who
know.
did that?
Fucking Dr. Seuss, probably.
Damn.
Robert Munch.
Cool.
Hey, thanks for tuning back into this episode of the Junk Monkeys podcast. Man, our last episode did so well.
Hey, you know what? Honestly, guys, everyone, I know that the 20 of you showed up. I know 20 of you showed up. I know
You can't win them all.
maybe 3 or 4 of them were me. Who knows? But
Yeah,
like
maybe me and my couple alt accounts.
16 people showed up, and I appreciate that.
And
a
I
lot.
had 14 of them were my alts. So.
I mean, to be expected. It's media stuff, so.
I thought it was really fun. I had fun. I had
I
fun
had a great
listening
time.
to it.
I had a great time doing it, so.
So
That's what matters, Rand.
Exactly.
That's what
It's
matters.
all about passion. It's
It
all
is.
about what we're passionate
the view
about.
count doesn't matter.
No,
It
no, at the end
never
of the day,
has.
no.
It-
We're the smallest channel in the world.
well,
Kind of.
actually, statistically, if you look,
Well,
we're at the very bottom. It's
yeah.
like, oh, well, it's only up from here. PMA, positive mental attitude.
Exactly.
The shorts are doing well.
Yes, the shorts. By the way,
The shorts are very
housekeeping.
fun.
Guess
Yes.
what? Check out our shorts. We got some new shorts
We
going
got
up.
shorts on our
What are you
channel.
doing, man?
Yeah.
There's what? Open your.
They usually moving on. They usually go up on my Instagram story as well. I kind of want to figure out a different way other than just using my account as the social media account. We'll
Right.
figure
Well,
that
Junk
out at some
Monkeys
point.
account.
A Junk Monkeys account would be cool,
Why
and I
don't
think
we-
that would be a
yeah,
great
yeah.
idea.
I swear to God, we had that.
Or even
No,
have shorts like to
On
be
Twitter.
able to like give to other accounts and be like, hey guys, could you promote this or something like that?
Oh, really?
Locally. Yeah, I mean, you could probably do
Is that a thing you could do?
I'm sure.
I mean, if I go to my friend and I'm like, "Can you post this on your story?" and then he says yes.
To be fair, I could ask you guys to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
'Cause-
I
Yeah.
really should do it more often.
No,
honestly.
that's fine.
I just deleted Instagram, so I usually
I was gonna
don't.
say I don't touch Instagram.
Yeah, it's honestly become my drug of choice lately.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's why I got rid of it.
Oh,
I
really?
started clicking Reels. I'd re-download
Oh,
it.
the
for
Reels
bus
are
trip.
risky.
Yeah, I re-downloaded it for a bus trip to Winnipeg,
Yeah.
and it was just like,
Risky
I remember
Reels.
why I got rid of this.
It sounds like
I
a
spend way
Fortnite
too
drop
much time.
location. Risky Reels.
Risky, it does, and
Yeah.
it's like an old abandoned movie studio.
Exactly. That's exactly what
that's
I'm
a
thinking.
thing. Not Risky Reels, but like a movie studio in Fortnite. That's a thing. I feel
think
like.
so.
Probably.
We're getting
Anyways,
off
They
track.
do
we're definitely-
concerts.
We're getting off track. Yeah, we're talking about fucking Fortnite.
Yeah, why not?
This is how it goes, man.
Anyways,
Yeah, it's
Randy,
always how it goes.
Randy,
Hey.
how goes your journey to get to San Francisco?
Oh, let me tell you, everybody. Operation Get Ran to San Fran. Ooh-wee. Haven't heard any news. Haven't heard any updates. But if you haven't already, there's a Google Doc in the description that you can go to and just fill out and be like, hey, this Randy guy, he should go to San Francisco.
I think Randy should go to San Francisco.
I appreciate that.
I think you should go to San Francisco.
I think how cool would that be?
It'd be awesome.
Just only because I could come back and we could do an entire episode. Hey, Randy went to San Francisco. This is what happened.
That'd be a
Also-
that'd be a really one-sided podcast.
Yeah, it would be.
You'd
It'd be
like,
great.
talk, and we'd be like, yeah.
Yeah.
Also,
It would
it'd
just
be good.
really cater to me.
I think it'd be a pretty fun. I think it'd be a cool episode.
I
I
think
think
it'd
it'd
be
be a perfect episode.
Yeah.
So, shall we get into the episode?
I think so.
I think
I'm
so,
really,
too.
really excited to talk
I
about
was
this.
gonna say I think I'm gonna throw to you first because
Okay.
you've got a lot of Randy's got a whole notebook page full, multiple notebook
I have
pages full.
3
Of,
pages.
He's flipping through the. Hold the mic up to the notebook
Okay.
and like flip it. There you
That kinda
go.
works.
That was
Okay,
kinda
There you
nice.
go.
That was
Okay.
nice, yeah.
The calming
Some
sound.
ASMR.
So our first episode. What if we did Junk Monkeys ASMR episode?
I'd rather we didn't.
We've had this
I
discussion
think we
multiple
have,
times,
and I hated it.
and I really want to do it.
I also have in here Dan review. Pretty cool guy.
Yeah, that was from the that
was our coffee.
The coffee, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry.
So our first point that we have on our little agenda
Mm.
that I wrote up earlier today, that's not true, I wrote it up a little while ago, is new music, what we've been listening to, new genres perhaps, new artists, sort of a free form, what are you listening to? And if we could throw back to the first episode.
Yeah.
Because my my music like weapons of choice have changed quite actually dramatically since the first episode.
Really?
What do you mean by weapons of choice?
I just mean what I've been listening to.
Oh,
like
okay,
my
cool.
picks.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, totally.
I thought it was like a cool like.
Yeah, I like it.
metaphor,
I like it.
But apparently it.
No, it did go over my head, but I'm just a little, I'm a little EP. I'm a little EP guy.
I'm the opposite.
Not like
I'm the opposite of EP right now. So
Oppie.
I'm she opping on my EP.
No, stop. No. I knew you would go there.
No. I'm glad we were laughing over that. I'm gonna solo that in the edit though.
Please don't.
So, Renati.
No.
Would you?
God.
Okay,
You're saying all the wrong things.
All right, I'll go again.
No, you don't have to. It's just like there's something about Renati that I don't like.
I have a folder for like stuff Randy sends me on my computer, but I have it's saved as like Renati, like RNADY, and I showed it to him once, and he was like, "Why is it called that?"
Yeah.
I'm like, "Oh,
Yeah.
I thought that's how you spelled your name."
You know that's not true.
So new music, new artists, new genres, new things in general.
Totally.
That we've been listening to.
Yeah.
What's going on with you?
It's tricky because I want to get into a conversation, but I'm kind of wondering if I should save it for later.
What's the conversation?
How my relationship with music has kind of changed.
Oh, that could be a separate point.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, we'll get to that.
We could throw to that for after we go through what we've been listening to.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Okay, cool.
But jumping off of what you just said earlier before the Renati stuff.
You're the one bringing it up.
Yeah, you know what? That's my bad. You remember, I in preparation for this podcast, I listened back to the original episode, the music episode.
I didn't do that. I should have done that.
Yeah, honestly, it's an interesting listen because we talk differently than we do now in a weird way, and I don't know how that
we talk
worked.
more like influencers now. What's up, guys?
Hey, check out my channel.
Check out this TikTok.
Smash the like button.
Yeah, it's the worst. But no, like I was listening back to it, and I was like, the amount of times that somebody would say an artist, especially Brad, you would bring up an artist, and at that time I was like, oh, I haven't heard them. I've heard so many of the things that you recommended now, and
grinded,
dude, honestly, and like today even I was making some, like I was doing some meal prepping, and I threw on the album that we're gonna discuss later as like one of our favorite albums, but I also threw on, after I finished that one, because like this meal prep took forever, I threw on the Backseat Lovers.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. And that is
Brad's face lit up.
the amount of time that just woke Brad up. Like he was mid yawn and he was like, whoa, never mind.
Yeah.
But yeah, like that was like listening to that one, I was like, man, this is awesome, and I can't believe it took me since like 2021 for me to finally take Brad's recommendation.
And it's like, wow, this is bussin'.
Yeah,
but as long as you get to enjoy it, I'm happy you listen to it.
No, it was fantastic. I had a great time with it.
Great album.
So yeah, it's in terms of like new stuff I've been listening to, genre wise, I've been getting into hip hop and rap quite a bit.
Okay.
Like, and I know that doesn't. I don't know. It's weird because like. Obviously, it kind of coincides with the gym too. Like going to the gym, I've had less of a desire to like listen to my like acoustic folk music that I usually enjoy when I'm cooking, right? So like genre-wise, I've definitely been exploring that, and it's been great. Like Kendrick Lamar has been like genuinely one of the best albums I've ever listened to. Is Good Kid, Mad City.
Unreal.
Insane.
An unreal
like,
artist.
You know when I want to get to, there's so many things I want to get to, and I'm so sorry, but like, when you're listening to an album, I need a word for like what it's, when you start to realize that this album is about to become an all-timer as you're going through the album.
I know exactly what you mean.
But I need a word for it that like, other than like banging. You know what I mean? Like,
this should bang it.
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't either.
I feel
we'll work
just
on it.
Describe this, the feeling.
Good.
Okay.
Wow.
Feel good.
That's not what I was saying.
Good feel.
Okay.
Good feel.
Feel good.
Okay.
Music makes me feel good.
Exactly.
Rock love.
So yeah, Kendrick Lamar, and Mac Miller, obviously, like thanks to you guys' recommendations.
Yeah.
And Dow's been super great for like, he gave me like, I'm pretty sure after that episode of the music episode, he gave me like this like curated like Randy's gateway to hip hop, and
No way.
It was like
gateway music.
Yeah, gateway music.
Actually really nice one.
I like that. That's an album name.
Yeah.
Gateway.
So it's been great there. And so yeah, J. Cole, Kendrick Lamar, Mac Miller, great. But then I've also been listening to some new artists in the folk genre. Or I think it's folk, but I can't I wrote down. I don't know what to call it, but
I had to
it's
look
that
up a few
acoustic nice
genres.
vibe. Yeah.
I had to look up a few genres for this episode. I was like going through music. I was like,
What genre is this?
Yeah. Yeah, because something's like indie alternative type stuff is so broad.
Yep.
Totally. And I think I think we kind of discussed this last time, but it's like it's kind of arbitrary at some point.
Well, there's the disconnect where indie doesn't actually mean what a lot of people think it means.
Yeah.
Indie doesn't, like, we all know what indie music sounds like, but there's an actual definition for indie, right? It's just independent.
Yeah.
Indie music can be rap.
Totally.
100%.
Indie music can be classical. Indie music can be fucking dubstep.
Well, it's the same with games, right?
Right. But we all sort of just collectively agree that indie, generally speaking, means
An acoustic guitar,
folk,
and,
kind of folky, kind
soft,
of alternative.
yeah. Totally.
Which is my preferred
I'm right there with
like method for like what indie means.
Yeah.
Indie in air quotes music is some of my favorite music.
you. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I've been listening to Camp. I really want to get into Camp, and talk about it more.
He goes crazy.
Zach Bryan, shout out Brad.
Yep.
And Noah Kahan, is that how you?
Oh,
Noah Kahan,
Darian
yeah.
has been going so hard on Noah Kahan.
Dude, incredible.
He
Very
showed me
good
some
singer.
stuff.
Really, really good stuff.
Pretty stuff, yeah.
Yeah. So that's I know I kind of rambled, but that's my opening salvo.
I don't think that was a ramble. I think that was exactly what we were looking for.
Awesome.
Yeah, it was
Your
exactly what we
opening
were looking
salvo,
Yeah.
missile one.
I rest my
deployed.
case.
You slam the table, and I'm like, fucking don't
do that.
Okay, Brad, would you like to go next?
for. Sure, yeah.
What have you been listening to?
You see, I usually
New
don't
stuff?
pay attention what I'm listening to, so it's kind of hard to be like, oh,
You're-
I was listening to this, I was listening to that. So I went through my what they recommend to me from the algorithm,
Yep.
and it was such a weird spread of things. Like I was like hip hop, lo-fi, UK drill.
Don't say lo-fi.
What do you say, lo-fi?
It's lo-fi.
Okay,
It's like this is the Kaleo Kaleo thing again.
Yeah, but here's the thing: there's right and wrong.
There, yes, there is.
I might consider it called lo-fi sometimes by accident, but I'll try to remember lo-fi.
Lo-fi.
But anyways, I listen to lo-fi and I'll listen to hip hop and I'll listen to it's been so
Love lo-fi.
widespread. But recently, I think the ones I've been getting more and more into is definitely lo-fi, just in general.
Yes, dude. Lo-fi is so
It's
good.
like between school and everything like that, and I have an audiobook I have to listen to, and I usually put it on when I'm driving, which is when I usually listen to music.
Yeah.
So I usually just have lo-fi on in my room consistently throughout the day,
Yeah.
That is.
and it's unreal.
I'm just so happy. That's just the greatest thing.
It's
Aw.
I love lo-fi so much.
it's an amazing genre.
You guys will have to send me some tracks because I'd love to
Okay.
explore
Well,
it.
Here's the thing,
Mm-hmm.
and Brad, I know you know this.
Mhm.
Lo-fi almost transcends being music, and of course it's music, but it almost, for a lot of people, steps into just being ambiance.
Oh, okay.
It really does, yeah.
Because that's the kind of the point of lo-fi, is that it's not something that you can obviously, and I can think of a couple tracks that are lo-fi that I would actually sit down and critically listen to.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of I would say quite a sizable majority of lo-fi is stuff that you're going to put on in the background,
Okay.
or when you're on your computer or whatever, or you're playing a game, you're going to put it on, and you're going to put it on one volume
Oh yeah,
or 10% volume.
Yeah, yeah,
And you're
yeah.
just going to casually have it in your background.
for sure.
Yeah.
Because a lot of lo-fi is just that. It's musical ambiance, essentially, without being ambient music.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you'll come across a track that's a little more groovy.
Yeah.
But I almost
Yes.
like it because it pulls you out of that background and
Yeah.
oh, I haven't been listening to this too hard. To wow, this is really
Re-engages
good.
you.
Yeah,
I-
it re-engages you in a way.
I'm gonna send you so many songs.
Yeah, please do.
Because I've got
That's something. Another point that I want to bring up at some point is recommendations and how much more I've taken that seriously rather than just being yeah, I'll throw it on my list, and then just never do it.
I would like to have shared playlists. At
I
one
was
point.
That would be
just
so
thinking-
cool.
2
Why is
seconds
that
ago I
not-
was thinking
Why is that not a thing?
Is it not a thing?
I don't think you
on
can.
music apps, not to my knowledge.
We should look
Yeah.
into that.
I was just thinking we could have a Google Drive or something, or
Yeah, that'd be
a list.
Yeah,
Because Mike's sending me YouTube music all the time.
all the time.
Yeah.
I use YouTube Music. Yeah.
I do this thing currently with my music where I put it into seasons.
Yeah.
Because my genres are so weird, and I want to listen to so many at the same time, and I always switch so much.
Yeah.
That I have a winter 2023 album.
Oh right, you were talking
I
about
think I
this on
talked about this
the
at one
episode
point.
back. Yeah.
Anyways, yeah. So I don't know. That's been working well, and if we could do that and then have a shared drive, it's then you could look back and be what was Randy listening to?
Yeah,
or Dan
totally.
Listening to, or everyone listening to it.
That
this
would be
time?
cool. I'd
And
like
where
that.
did you learn that from, or where did you find that song?
Honestly, let's bookmark this. I think we should definitely look into this and
Yeah.
figure this out.
Put this in the short.
Yeah.
Short.
Make a second short.
Yeah.
Somebody make this right now. Code that shit.
Do it. Cassie,
That's
you're on it.
I'm sure that exists. Right?
It must. It must.
Yeah.
I mean, the easiest, not the easiest, but the simplest way to do it would just be to keep a list.
Yeah.
Alternatively, well, we could keep a list, and then you could just add like links to the song.
Yeah, totally.
Like a YouTube link or a Spotify
But there's like
link
not like a convenient integrated way to do it. Which
Yeah,
is
I know
wrong.
what you're saying.
It feels like something that's like such a simple idea.
I feel like this has to exist, and we just don't know about it.
I think that is exactly what's happening. And people are listening are like, these fucking morons.
It's literally, and so you go to Spotify, you go to set it, it's right there.
It's right there. It's a lo-fi.
Yeah, I guess
Nice.
I'll go with lo-fi, and then I'll go with indie alternative. Has probably been my mains.
Nice.
Some folk.
Some mains.
sprinkled in.
I like the idea of mains.
Mhm.
It's like I dabble in other things, and I
But
mix
I
and
got
match.
I got my main.
But I got my main.
I got my main lo-fi.
Yeah.
We have in my Discord server, we have a dedicated lo-fi bot.
We were when I was going through a Minecraft Let's Play with buddies before, and we literally just played lo-fi the whole time.
Yeah.
It was unreal.
That's
It doesn't take away from your ability to think,
No,
which
absolutely
I
not.
think I sometimes do with music, and also it doesn't inhibit conversation at all.
No.
Yeah.
Which is awesome. It's just there, and then like you stop talking, and you're like, "Ooh, I'm grooving."
yeah.
And it's awesome. I don't know. It's a great.
But then
little genre.
there's a bunch of different types of lo-fi because
Yeah.
like there's sad lo-fi,
Mhm.
and then there's really like you were talking about upbeat, happy, groovy
Mhm.
lo-fi. I really like jazzy lo-fi.
Yeah.
There's really
That sounds
jazzy
rad.
lo-fi.
I think I've been into the jazzy.
Jazz lo-fi.
Send me
is
jazzy
so-
stuff.
I got you.
Yeah.
Just look up Jazz Hop from Chill Hop Music. I think I'll send you stuff.
They do like 24-hour streams too.
Oh, yeah.
Beautiful.
I mean, I
fall
have
asleep
obviously I'm aware of the lo-fi girl that lo-fi beats to chill to or whatever.
to. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's also I even listen to it to sleep sometimes.
Oh, nice.
Which is actually an unreal idea if
Yeah.
you're ever into it.
I should try that because I can't sleep.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
You just because you think about the music and then you're thinking about it and then you fall asleep.
Yeah.
And you're like, wow,
Nice.
I feel good.
I
now.
can't even imagine falling asleep to music. I could never do that.
I have to put it at a very low volume.
Very.
It's like I have to strain to listen to it.
Yeah.
So then I have to focus on listening to it, and then I stop focusing and fall asleep.
Nice.
It's an interesting strategy I picked up anyway.
Dan,
Whoa, what's up?
hey, what have you been listening to?
What did I talk about listening to in the first episode? Because you remember, I think.
You were talking about. It was like a darker version of synth.
yeah, dark synthwave.
Dark
right.
synthwave. That was
Okay,
it.
so that was like, I still listen to that all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I've been getting really into the more. There's electronic music called like minimal house.
Okay.
Well, actually, minimal is just sort of a tag that you can apply to music that uses really stripped down production techniques and a very like limited amount of instruments. Almost like you're setting yourself like a challenge. Like, how can I write this song in like this electronic song, and I'm only using 4 synths for this whole track and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I've been getting really into minimal house. There's an artist called Stimming. He's a Germostry Swede,
Okay.
Norwegian,
Sure.
someone up there
Yeah.
kind of guy. God, what is he?
Kind of do.
Yeah, he's that,
one of them guys.
He
I
might
know.
be. I'm not gonna like say he might be blank because like I can't remember.
Yeah.
But like he's let me look it up really quick actually because I don't want to be like he's German and then he's not.
not.
Yeah. And then he comments on the episode
He's like, hey,
Are you-
wait a minute.
and he comes to my house.
Are you joking?
Stimming
Comes with the gat.
artist. It's always
To Canada. To
Canada.
Manitoba.
Smuggled it.
Brandon, Manitoba.
Smuggled a gun to
Okay.
Manitoba.
Hamburg. Where is Hamburg?
You could probably find one
From
on the side.
Germany,
I
maybe
was gonna
Sweden.
I was gonna
Yeah,
say, I think
you'd
it's
probably
German.
find one on the side of the road
Yeah.
if you tried hard enough.
Yeah.
Honestly, but
I don't think that's true.
It's
I don't think I've ever seen a gun on the side
I
of the
don't
road.
think I don't
I haven't
think it is.
looked.
I've never looked for it either.
It's German. It's the second largest. Thank you for covering for me.
I got
Thank
you.
you. I
I got you.
appreciate
I got
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's a German-based musician, and he lives in Hamburger.
Okay.
I would love to live somewhere called Hamburger. But how many McDonald's do you think they got? At least
0.
6.
Zero. It's all local.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
We
Damn.
said 0, and Brad was like,
Oh.
"It's the joke."
I was thinking it was like the subway of Brandon. You know, we have like
Yeah,
7
how we have like
subways.
7 subways.
Anyways, so he produces really like minimal down tempo pieces of electronic music, and a lot of what he does is actually he uses a lot of like hand produced field recordings in his music. As in,
Okay.
he's got a music recorder, like
Yeah.
or a handheld audio recorder, like a Zoom recorder. So he takes it with him everywhere he goes. And then if he hears a sound he likes, he records it with the sound. And so a lot of his drums are like him like hitting things.
Oh, cool.
Or like banging on things to make
Yeah.
drum sound. And then he takes them and modulates them. And and he doesn't produce on a computer. He says he hates it. He hates producing on a computer, or not a computer. I'm sorry, but he produces on an artist tablet.
Oh, okay.
Like where you draw with a pen.
Oh.
So he uses Pro Tools, which is a common I think he uses Pro Tools. It might be something else.
Yeah.
Don't quote me on that. Please don't kill me, Mr. Stimming.
From Germany.
From Hamburger. And he uses his artist tablet with a pen to interface with the machine, and a lot of his stuff is analog sound. So it's really, I don't know how to describe it other than it's electronic music that feels super, super organic. That's how I'll describe it.
Yeah, that's super cool.
So that's one thing I've been really into recently, especially
really
his music.
Interesting.
Well, I mean, that kind of reminds me of
I'll show you some stuff after.
Yeah, I'll have to. Yeah.
How
I showed you at your house once.
Did you?
Yes. Sorry.
No, it's okay. I believe there's some people that are audio designers from the original Star Wars movies, where some of those sounds are just the air conditioning unit in one of their hotel rooms.
The common one is the laser sound effect.
Yeah.
It's just a spring. It's just
it's just that.
That's the sound they go for the lasers.
You ever watch the videos of people doing the actual sound design?
No, not really, but
it's crazy.
I think once.
There's footsteps are them crushing cabbage and shit.
That's
it's
wild.
Weird
It's
stuff.
called,
so cool.
It's called Foley work.
They just got to be so creative.
That's what it is.
You know what I mean? And then the other thing I wanted to bring up, I think John Williams, don't quote me on this. There's one legendary composer in Hollywood that still just refuses to use digital, and
There's a lot
always
there's a lot of composers like that.
but
which I can understand.
one of the goaties.
Yeah.
yeah.
The fucking
Goaties.
What?
The goats.
Okay, but goaties?
Yeah, I call them goaties.
The
Ew.
greatest of all time
Yeah.
in entertainment
Greatest
spectrum.
of all time. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Oh, because you're thinking IE.
Yeah, it was what is
Greatest
it?
of all time in entertainment spectrum.
That's not bad.
That's awful.
Goaties.
I thought it was a good shot.
The
man.
goaties. I mean, I like it.
I like it.
It's just whoa.
Am I ever gonna say goaties?
You're doing great, bro.
No.
You're doing great.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah.
So that's been my electronic fix recently.
Yeah.
I've also gotten just so far into jazz. And
Nice.
I can't get myself into contemporary experimental jazz yet.
Okay.
Because it's so above my musical theory pay grade, where they're doing things and I'm watching it and I'm listening to it and I'm I know I'm experiencing musical genius at work in front of me. I just can't. I don't understand.
Yeah.
I do not understand.
I get it.
So I'm still more into the smooth jazz, and I really like noir jazz. The 1950s,
yeah.
real dark, ambient.
It's almost like that bugle.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
exactly.
Yeah.
So that's been my jazz kick recently. I love that.
We should do, just as a side tangent, we should do at some point a sketch of us doing a noir. And
oh my god, like an audio skit?
Yeah, well, it could be. I could definitely do an audio skit because I'm obviously immediately thinking too big of a grand scale.
Yeah.
Of
IMAX cameras.
Yeah,
what the fuck?
Randy, we can't afford this.
We can't afford anything. We can't even afford a camera that works.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, I think that'd be really funny if Dan was the city.
Oh my
You know what I mean?
god, who's the secretary?
I'll put on a dress.
Oh,
I'll do it.
Again, it's audio.
It's an audio.
You don't have to.
Brad's no,
I'll
I'm
do
doing
it.
it. I'm doing it.
I'm committed.
I have to get a character.
I can't act if I'm a method
You
acting.
were so eager to be I'll be in the dress. I'll do it.
Please.
Oh,
I need
boy.
this.
This is raising more questions than answers. Anyways. So this minimal electronic has been great.
Yeah.
Been loving lots of jazz. That's really been my kick. And then I always have lo-fi going. Lo-fi is just perfect.
It's a staple.
So yeah.
If I may ask, since you brought up jazz in the episode, this is fun because I have the perspective of knowing what you guys said last time. We asked if you would watch Soul, Pixar's Soul.
I have not watched Soul yet.
Shoot!
Oh,
damn!
man.
I don't watch movies.
No, that's fair. That's
ever.
fair. I just really think that you would like it a lot.
Probably. You know
Yeah.
what? I saw a couple YouTube clips of it a few weeks ago.
Makes me cry every time.
Okay.
I don't know what it
cry
does
every
something to
time.
me.
I cry every.
That song made me cry.
Which one?
The one in Soul. Which one of them? I don't
Oh,
know.
I know.
I don't
But
know
there's
all
the one
of them.
Yeah.
There's the part
Yep.
of the movie.
Mhm.
And you're like,
That's the part where it's you're supposed to cry here.
Yeah,
It's
that's what
almost like they
Is
hold
that-
up a sign
Is that
cry
where-
now.
Is that
Cry
where he's
now,
at
yeah.
the piano and he's reminiscing all the
Yep.
memories?
Yep.
Is that it?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
I didn't cry.
Well, see, but you haven't seen the movie, so you don't have the
Okay.
context.
Well, okay.
Let's-
That's
we
what they all say.
well,
You
Yeah.
can't. No.
Yes.
No.
No, yeah.
No.
Yeah,
No.
yeah,
No.
yeah,
No.
yeah,
No.
yeah,
I
yeah.
have this
Before you
argument
watch
with my dad all the time. You can't watch a clip on YouTube and be like, "This is fine." It's
Yeah.
like you don't have the context. I'm not gatekeeping, but I'm just saying like you might as well watch the movie.
I'm literally joking.
Okay.
There's like an hour and a half of like build up.
Yeah, no, of course.
I think it comes in. Like it's like it's not like I do it all the time where I'm like, oh, a clip, and I listen to it, I'm like, oh, that's all right. And I do that with music. I do that with music even all the time where I listen to a clip of music, I'm like, oh, that's all right. But you need the 30 to a minute and a half of build
of
up
course.
to get to it.
Yep.
Which I mean, I think everyone's guilty of it. I don't think it's a big deal.
Especially when you get like 15-minute long songs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, yeah, exactly. And some people can't focus for the full 15 minutes. I'm probably one of them. But
That's been something else. Is I've been into like, I've consistently been into, but I've been delving back into like classic like 90s prog rock.
Okay.
So like Porcupine Tree, Dream Theater, like old style Coheed, stuff like that. And like they're like Porcupine Tree consistently writes like 15, 16-minute long prog rock tracks.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
And they're bangers from start to end.
Which is wild.
It starts at this like a lot of them it's like they're almost like operatic.
Yeah.
In their like
It's a really big word.
Yeah. It's
8 letters.
I love me an epic. Like,
yeah.
You know,
Maybe not a big word, but a unique one.
like an opera, like operatic.
Sure.
like Oppenheimer.
No, Oppenheimer.
No.
It's like a very vocally like ooh.
No, it's just I just mean like it's like almost like dramatic.
Okay.
Like
Okay.
music, but like for the sake of I don't know how to describe it.
No,
what's the word they use when you push the keys harder in piano?
Forte?
Yeah, it's like a lot of like different volumes and
No,
build up and
I feel
is
like
that what
I'd
you
have to send you something for you to like understand.
Maybe you would.
I'll send you Arriving Somewhere But Not Here by
Okay.
by Porcupine Tree.
Cool.
That's like classic 90s prog rock. We're going to write a 20-minute long song.
Nice.
Fuck it, let's do it.
Fuck it, we ball.
Because we
Volleyball.
can, and
you
because we don't have to adhere to Spotify. And
Because it's banger from start to end.
Yeah. Have you ever gotten into the blues side of things, like watching live blues performances or anything like that?
I don't watch live blues performances,
Right.
but I do like the blues. Yeah.
Okay.
Here's the thing: the blues works its way into so much of what we've talked about.
Oh, for sure.
You know what uses a lot of the blues? Lo-fi.
A bunch of it.
So much.
Ridiculous.
Jazz is like blues stems from jazz, so like you're kind of there's roots. There you go. You're almost listening to the roots of blues when you are listening to the roots of blues when you listen to jazz.
100%.
So like blues is good. I tend more towards like jazz, but if a good blues track comes on, you can't skip it.
There's something about blues that gives me like a good feeling.
Yeah.
For some reason, you know what I mean? Like when the guy's like, and I told her, she'd be coming with me.
Hell yeah,
that was really good.
Yeah,
Thanks.
unironically, it was pretty great.
I
Thanks.
have a really dumb story, if you'll permit me.
What's the dumb story?
Okay, so when I was in Winnipeg and lived there, and I was walking around, I was like, oh shit, this is a cool little store. It's a CD store. I'll go in there. Why not? Go in there. And I'm like, you know what? I really want to get into blues.
Mm-hmm.
So I look around and I'm like, oh, okay. I'll pick up the CD, the Moody Blues. Perfect.
Right.
I buy it. I go home. The Moody Blues is just the name of the band. They don't play blues.
Come on, man.
So I'm like, it wasn't good. Like it was a bad CD. I feel like it was like not rock, but it's like almost like Bob FM music. You know what I mean?
Like pop rock.
Yeah, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, I've never heard of these guys, and this is not that great. And this is not what I wanted.
It's not the genre.
This is not the genre I was looking for. I just went for the Moody Blues.
Speaking of that kind of genre, skate punk has been my thing for some reason.
What the hell is skate punk?
It's just like, I don't even know.
Like, we talking Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 soundtrack or what?
Kind of stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's that subset of punk where you get into stuff like Rush and like 42 and that sort of loud, abrasive.
It is, yeah.
But really, like in a good way, in a very good way.
There's definitely some
I love
non-bangers, but I mean,
can't win them
to
all.
each their own in music, right? So.
Man, I got another album to send you. I got to send you the Royal They, self-titled The Royal They.
Hey, you brought up the Royal They a lot last episode.
Yeah. I did, yes, because I love the Royal They. They're so good.
Mm-hmm.
Super, super, super underground New York punk rock group that produces just unimaginable bangers.
Oh, yeah.
They've got like 2 fans, and I'm both of them. I don't know what that means.
Nice.
Oh, I was just thinking. The next question that we did have written down. What was it again?
Wrote down, yeah.
Wrote, yeah. That's how we say things. I talk sometimes. I try to.
Brad, you're an alien. 100%, you're an alien.
I don't speak
not
words
real.
the same way sometimes.
Brad's an AI.
I wanted to bring up the I was like lying in bed and I was like in one of those like introspective moods.
Yeah.
And I was like feeling philosophical. And the thought of creativity coming from an absence of fear was a weird thing that popped into my head. Like, I feel my most creative when I'm not scared to make something bad.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
something unaccepted.
Totally.
Which is a weird concept that I was braining for some reason.
Yeah.
I don't think it's weird at all. I think that's a really good point to come to, because it's just you're understanding that the creative process by no means should be constrained by other people's opinions of whether or not what you produce conforms to their ideas of
Right.
what is good or not good, because that's not how creativity works.
Right, for sure.
Oh no,
There goes my phone with all my notes.
you're
That
free.
doesn't really
You're
matter.
free balling it
I'm
now.
free balling. Oh, guys, I'm
free
freestyling.
burning.
I don't know what to say. I had every word written down.
Brad's reading a
His
script.
script is gone.
The
Yeah,
entire thing.
I've been compromised.
Pull me out.
Pull me out.
He just phases out of things. I told you he was an AI.
Shit.
I told you he was an
How are we
alien.
gonna finish the podcast? I guess
Dude,
just the two of us.
we get so many views if I was an alien.
That'd be
Yeah,
fucking
yeah, yeah.
hilarious.
We'd
A
also
long
all
con.
get captured by the government.
Oh yeah, I
Yeah.
don't think this video would make it out.
We've been silenced.
No, we'd be silenced for
Guys,
sure.
we missed another upload. What's
We're
going
all
on?
in a government facility.
Yeah, shit.
Podcast in a government. Okay, that's too much.
Anyway.
Too far. Yeah, so the absence of fear, because of as my like life is starting to hit one of those like pivot points where I'm like, oh, I'm going into work, I'm going to move out, I'm getting out of college, I'm
Yeah.
not doing all these things I've been doing for the last 3 years. I'm realized that I have so much more time to explore creatively in different ways. Like I can pick up the guitar again, or I can do, I don't know, make YouTube videos, or put more effort into making shorts for this channel, or like doing different things to fill up my evenings now.
Yeah.
And just the idea of being creative is I don't know.
No. That's a great thought, Brad. Honestly, and like I agree with you, especially because like it's really weird in college when I have to write creatively for a mark. You know what I mean?
That was another question I wrote down. How do you guys get into your creative mindset?
How do you get in that creative Duffy?
Yeah, like how do you find that pocket? Because and another weird tangent. There was one day I was just sitting there, and then I picked up a journal and I wrote an entire script for a mockumentary of
Yes,
of my life, like transitioning from college into
Yeah.
work. Which is weird. I think it was just like I wrote it down, and I don't think I'll ever do it.
No.
But I had like
Doesn't
this
have to.
immaculate, high quality,
You see it.
15-minute
It's
video.
all
and it
in
was
your
my
brain.
head, and I just couldn't stop writing forever.
You got the
And,
shot list ready.
Yeah.
No.
Literally, I had scenes planned out where
Yep.
they were, what I needed, background sounds,
Totally.
stuff like it was wild. Anyway, and it was like that just came about. But how can somebody force that?
Do you want to
to-
take this down?
You know what I mean?
Hmm?
You probably
You wanna
have
take
more
this?
experience with that idea.
I have a direct anecdote for this situation.
Mhm.
Everything you just said is 100% correct, and here's what I wanted to bring up. Here's my anecdote. The project that I composed music for, the Equestriate War stuff.
Right.
The person I like reported to,
Mhm.
my like boss in air quotes, who shall remain nameless.
Mhm.
He was a very rigid person when it came to creativity.
Right.
He I don't want to be like he was a crackpot, but like he was the kind of guy where he was like, oh, you need more creative, you need to be more creative, go have something to eat, go have sugar to get the juices flowing. And I was like,
Oh.
I get what you're saying, but also that's not how the
Right.
creative spark doesn't work like that.
Well, yeah, you just have sugar.
So we'll have a that is a legitimate thing he said to me once.
Oh shit! This red Skittle got me thinking.
Red Skittle got me thinking. Oh my
Specifically.
god, that's going in the short.
That's funny.
So this one time, he came to me after it had been like a solid, I don't know, month or two since I had composed anything for the project, because it's a volunteer project and I don't write for it all the time.
Yeah.
I haven't written for it since. And he came to me and he was like, "Hey, how's it going? You know, like what kind of stuff do you have composed for the mod?" And I was like, "I don't have anything composed for the mod." And he goes, "What do you mean? You're supposed to have stuff." And I said, "I never agreed to do that. I never agreed to anything."
Mhm.
And we went back and forth a little bit, and he was really badgering me about it. And I told him, I said, man, it's a creative endeavor. You can't just force me to write something. I'm not just going to force myself to write something when I'm not in that creative mindset. And his response was that, composing for stuff like this, it's a rigid thing. You've got to get this stuff done, and stuff like that. And I went, buddy, it's a volunteer project, and I write music quite slowly, and I don't know what to tell you. I'm not going to write if I'm not in the creative mindset. So that blew up, which was really funny in retrospect. Anyways, my overarching point is just that specifically for me, there is no forcing that kind of stuff.
Right.
And it kind of sounds like you discovered that as well, because you were talking about how the words just kept flowing. You just kept writing.
It just kept going.
Yeah. That creative flow that you get into is one of the most... It's one of the most beautiful things, but to me it's also quite... it can go the other way sometimes, because you know how annoying it is to be in a super creative flow for I've been in a creative headspace for a week at one point, and then to come out of it and spend a month not being able to come up with anything that you like, even if to go along with that, it's sort of a battle against, it's a battle against your own brain, because you can be in a space where you don't know if you're going to be able to write anything. You might not be in a creative headspace, and you might not want to create stuff, even though you, as a person, know for a fact that if you made something, even out of that creative headspace, it would be good.
Yeah.
I'm confident enough in my musical abilities to say that I could write something right now, not being in that creative headspace, and using the knowledge, and it'll be fine. It'll be good. It would be fine. You could write something without being in a creative headspace, and it would be good. I've seen your writing. It's wonderful writing.
Thank you.
I feel like we can all do that. It's just getting into that creative headspace. I was going to say it takes something, but I don't know what it takes. I don't think it takes anything. I think there are certain things and cues that you can go through or do or experience to push yourself towards that. Like you talked about your nature walk and that sort of directly flows into it. But largely, especially if you're at home, it's kind of a when it strikes kind of deal. And that's the most sometimes annoying thing. Yep. It's please, I want to make something.
Yeah, if I can jump in,
yes, find someone else go.
It's very much trying to tame a wild animal.
Right.
In that
you sometimes
you can't. No, absolutely not. But at the same time, you can. My friend Saba gave me some wonderful advice a while back, where it refers to something else, but I think we can apply it to this as well. If you're out in the middle of the ocean on a raft, and you're not getting anywhere, you're just hanging out.
Can't see land.
Kind of sucks.
As
land.
one does.
Yeah. You can't. The only thing
a dance party maybe.
Yeah, you're just chilling. It's Life of Pi situation. It's oh shit, a tiger. Yo.
In the ocean.
Whoa.
One of those water tigers.
But you can. The only thing you can do in that situation is be prepared for when the wind comes to blow.
Right.
You can prepare yourself as best as you can for when that wind strikes.
Right.
And that's the only thing you can do.
In the sense of why people would hold a pocket journal.
Yeah.
I'm here and I just have this ready.
Absolutely.
For this strike. This 0.5 seconds of creative.
Yeah, it can be a physical thing like that, or it can be a mental preparation thing. Yeah.
Peppa Pig.
Yeah. I wonder if that's because there's always the trope of the mad artist who goes mad.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. And I've never really thought about it until this conversation, I guess, where it's they're constantly stuck in that creative mindset, which is something when you're in it, is nothing else matters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very
it's
much
a weird
so.
thing. And
you watched Tick Tick Boom, right?
Yeah, I think yeah.
Yeah, that was mainly his whole thing. Jonathan Larson's whole thing was in that film, at least, it was very much I need to have this play done, and I just can't find the creative. I can't find it, and it was driving him nuts, and it was ruining his social relationships and all that fun stuff.
Right.
Not fun stuff, but you know what I mean. But yeah, I think that's a great film for understanding how much you can be a slave to it.
Right, or someone that was consistently in that mindset.
Yeah.
like can never not be creative, which would almost be just as torturous in a sense of like it would be great.
Can't focus on anything else.
It'd be great, but then it's like every day you wake up, you don't even want to sleep. You're so excited.
Totally,
about it.
and I think that kind of leads to burnout. To be honest with you, when you're super passionate about something, which is great, absolutely have that passion, but you got to have balance. Like
at some point, there's got to be a point where you're like, well,
I gotta eat.
sleep.
Yeah,
Gotta
exactly.
sleep. I gotta pay my rent.
Yeah, I should take care of myself rather than only focus on this one thing and put all of my eggs in one basket, so to speak. That was a great, honestly, great tangent. I appreciate that a lot.
Yeah, that was, I don't know, it was a weird question.
That's awesome. Great stuff.
Rad.
So,
So,
steezy, dude.
what does that mean?
It's a skater term for sick.
Skate punk.
Steezy, bro.
Steezy.
Steezy.
It felt
It's
dirty
like-
even saying it.
It's like if someone makes something hard look easy.
Okay.
Like
Okay.
if someone like, people skate and they're like, oh, I do a kickflip. And it looks super easy when they do it. And it's super hard to do.
Steezy.
It would be steezy because he made it look easy.
Stylish and easy.
Anyways,
Yeah.
moving on to the next
Exactly, yeah,
topic.
yeah.
Honestly, we should have like a segment where it's just like Brad lingo.
Oh, God.
That'd be fun. We'd have like our own intro
That's
music
like
for it.
multiple
Like,
episodes.
Yeah, it's
I
like a
feel
podcast within the podcast. Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to Steezy Talk with Brad.
With Broad. I heard that.
Sop, dude.
Saw, dude.
Have that like fashion German vibe thing going on.
Hamburger.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hamburger.
Anyways,
So,
Hamburger vibe,
moving
yeah.
on to our hamburger vibe. Moving on to our next topic.
Yep.
The next topic is another. It's our favorite album discussion, but sort of with the added twang of how is it compared your new favorite album to what you used to listen to, what might have been your previous favorite album.
Yeah, totally.
Or so.
Yeah.
Do we want to?
Do you want to start?
I can start. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd love to hear what you got.
What did I pick as my favorite album last time? Was it the Royal Day?
You know what? I can't remember.
Damn
I'm sorry.
So I feel like my unless I picked, did I pick Hospice by the Antlers?
Nope.
Okay. Well, then that's good, because then I feel like my favorite album has changed quite dramatically.
Okay.
Because it's a very different style now. I'm sure everyone here is familiar with Bon Iver,
Yeah, recently.
of course, right?
Yeah.
Because that's sort of like, how could you not be, especially if you're into like the indie and folk.
Yeah.
I figured this is where you were going with your
Yeah.
album. Yeah.
So yeah. No, that was for the underrated stuff.
Oh, yes.
So
Yeah.
we'll see.
I don't know. I thought it'd be brought up at least once, I hope.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I hope.
So, Bon Iver, For Emma Forever Ago. That's his debut album. That's where Skinny Love is from. That's
The
where
whole shebang.
So what?
That's so weird because like I think
Is that your favorite album?
No. But like
Randy, damn it.
2 months ago, I was introduced to this.
Yeah.
I'd never heard of Bon Iver.
Great.
Oh my god.
I
And
can't believe
I
that,
think-
actually.
Haley, Dal and Haley, we were hanging out, and Haley sent me like Skinny Love, and then Dal sent me the album,
Yep.
and I listened to it. I'm like, oh, this is incredible.
It's
Like,
when you explained the whole thing to me, I've told that story several times
What
on the making of the album and how it came
Oh
about.
yeah,
And
and how he
that's
locked
a whole-
himself away, and
yeah,
his
it's a whole
like
thing.
illnesses, and like
It's a wild.
God, there's so many points I want to bring up. Okay,
This
sorry.
is the
Continue.
music thing, man. It's always
Yeah,
never
and like
stops.
that's what happened with the last episode, where we were just like, I feel like we could do a part 2, and then hey,
I feel
guess
like
what?
we do
We're
a part
doing a part
4.
2.
Well, we just skip part 3.
Yeah, why
just
not?
because it'd be funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, why not?
They did with Goat Simulator.
Why not?
Is that true?
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Yeah, they did Goat Simulator 1, and then instead of Goat Simulator 2, they just released Goat Simulator 3.
That's really funny.
Yeah.
So, anyways, to jump from Goat Simulator back to this album.
Hey man, that's what this podcast is all about.
For Emma Forever Ago by Bon Iver is the closest thing that I've experienced to in music as auditory, I guess I'll say auditory depression,
Yeah.
or auditory melancholy, maybe.
Yeah.
Because it changes your appreciation and understanding of the album changes when you understand the background of the production of the album.
Yeah, it really does. Yeah.
Do you know about this?
I don't.
Oh,
Please.
okay, so
I'd love to hear it.
So Justin Vernon, aka the Bon Iver, right?
Yeah. Bonnie.
I mean, Bon Iver is a band
My
now,
boy
but like
Bonnie.
it started as just him.
Okay.
So Justin Vernon had been writing music since the 90s, like, or before even. He'd been playing music all his life, introduced to it by his father. And come 2006 or whenever the album was released, 2007, he experienced a number of like cascading negative things in his life.
Right.
This is out of order, so for anyone who's listening and is like,
A
that's
purist.
not right, I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
It's like a paraphrase.
That's okay.
thing for
I'm
sure.
I don't think
paraphrasing
anybody's
it.
gonna hold anything against.
Dal listens and he comes to my house and kills me.
I don't think it's gonna be that extreme. Might be a text.
What the fuck?
I'm outside.
Pull up. Anyways, so he experienced breakup for a longtime girlfriend.
Yep.
He contracted a disease that like affected I think his kidneys and whatnot, and it was like really like affecting him and made life hard. And he was also at the same time very frustrated with his songwriting and his music producing, and like it wasn't going anywhere really. It was, but it was, you know, and he was just frustrated with everything. It all cascaded at once. It all happened at once, and it all sort of dominoed into this huge effect of like, I'm gonna go up to my dad's and my hunting cabin up in the like the snow-covered mountains, and I'm gonna go there. And his plan, I was reading this last night. Yeah. His plan was to be there for a couple weeks, and he was like, I'm just gonna go there. He didn't bring his guitar. He didn't bring music, anything. He just, I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna turn my brain off. I'm gonna live off the land. He hunted for his own food. He killed some deers. Yeah. And I'm going to just exist for a couple weeks and just reset my brain. A couple weeks turned into a couple months.
Oh, damn.
Because he was like, this is sort of working. So his dad would visit him periodically and bring him beer. And for the first couple weeks, he said he was just drinking. He was just drinking and getting drunk and like dealing with the depression. But eventually he was like, no, I need to do something. So he brought his guitar, an old Power Mac 2, like those old like Tower Mac computers that are colorful. Yeah. Not the screen, the actual tower.
Yes.
And his guitar and a bunch of microphones and a bunch of recording equipment. Brought it into that cabin, locked himself away for 3 months.
Shit.
Lived off the land. To pay to get his guitar fixed at one point, he sold like parts of the animals he killed to a local trader to get money to pay for his guitar. It was like
that's so cool.
Went into this cabin, 3 months. Came out not only a changed person, not only with an album, but like I feel like probably a changed person in some regard.
Yep.
And he came out with these what he called like scratch recordings. He came out of that house with the final product, with those final. What you hear on the album is the final. What he came out of the house with.
Yes.
And he thought those were just scratch tracks. Like I'm gonna take these and use them as an example to give to a studio to get an advance to record a studio version. And he went to some of his friends to show them the recordings, and they were all like, no, release these. Like thought Skinny Love was just a scratch track.
Imagine.
Yeah.
Imagine.
No, I can't attest to that. Like maybe not all of them, but like that was the thing, is that he thought that a lot of them were just like field recordings.
Yeah.
Take these and get them done in the studio. And all his friends were like, no, release this. So he self-released on MySpace, and then later on a larger platform, I can't remember, and then signed with an indie label a year later. And it obviously immediately blew up.
Yeah.
Because it's I can't describe it. It's immaculate.
Yeah.
It's perfect. There was actually a song on the album I hadn't heard before, the second one, and it's got like some of the least amount of views. But I listened to it, and it's just perfect. The album is perfect, start to finish. It's perfect. I don't know how else to describe it.
No, yeah, that was my problem. 20 minutes ago, where I was just like, how do you describe an album that you know is going to be an all timer?
Yeah,
it makes me cry every time.
Yeah,
Lump Sum only has 2.3 million. Only 2.3 million.
I know.
But versus Skinny Love's 116 million.
Right.
So
it's like that his music and that album in specific is like. When I think of music conveying emotion, I think of that.
Yes.
Yeah.
In every sense, right? I don't know.
No, I totally agree.
There's just no other way I could think of conveying emotion.
I can't. It's literally it's like pure. It's his pain turned directly into an auditory experience and then funneled directly into your brain. And it's so fucking raw.
It is raw.
That's what it is.
Well, I mean, yeah, and I think that goes to like when you see that in art, you notice it. When you see that genuine emotion coming through and actually like piercing through like the noise, you know.
Well, that's that absence of fear I was kind of bringing up, where in the sense of he was not scared to make whatever he made because he didn't think it would be released.
Well, exactly, and like he didn't.
He thought it would be released,
right? But not like the final version.
I get what you're saying, but I wonder if it was less absence of fear and more willingness to produce willingness to turn his fear and pain that he was experiencing into an auditory experience.
How to translate
the song.
I like that.
Yep.
I like that take on it.
Have you heard of Nick Drake's Pink Moon?
No.
Okay. Similar setup in that he like locked himself away in a cabin with a bunch of friends, so it's not quite the same. But like he was basically like, I need to get this album done, and I just like I will therefore go sit in this cabin with my friends, and we will figure this out. And I honestly, like, maybe we just all need to get cabins, guys. I think that's it.
Let's just get
cabins.
$400,000 thing.
Well, yeah, why not? And then I don't see why not. I don't see any problem with this.
Zero.
So we're all going to go into the mountains.
Yeah.
Each our own cabin.
Oh, okay.
Right? So we'll have each other on a map, of course.
Oh, we're far away from each other.
Yes.
Oh,
no,
okay.
they're not going to be 4 cabins altogether.
Right.
Stardew Valley style.
Exactly. No, absolutely not. So I think that's what we're going to do.
We're all gonna lock away in cabins
Yep.
and come out and then see what happens.
Who's going to last longest in that situation?
Who do you?
Not me.
Probably Noah.
Noah would.
Noah would, the fuck. That's the way you said
Jesus.
it. Noah would.
Yeah, he would, wouldn't he?
I feel like I could last a while doing that.
I think you could too.
I depend. I don't know.
That was a side tangent. I apologize. Yeah.
Just to wrap it up, there's also, what do you like about it? We've covered that. What's your best song on the album in your opinion?
Yeah.
That's kind of rough for me because I feel wrong choosing a favorite song for this album.
I get what you're
and Brad
saying.
understands because it's just, oh, what am I saying? What's your favorite song on the album? Do you know?
Well, I couldn't. No, I couldn't. I haven't listened to the album in a very long time.
Okay. Mine's
I remember the emotions it gave me.
mine's
but
The
I can't
Wolves.
remember it. Okay.
Act 1 and 2.
Mhm.
The really, really stripped down one where he's singing the really high pitched register.
Right. I think you showed me that one day, and we listened to it together.
I don't know. I don't remember.
I feel like
Skinny
that was
Love
the one
is really
time
good,
you.
isn't it?
The
Skinny Love is really good. Isn't
Skinny
it?
Love is really good, but I think I'm gonna be honest. Flume's better, Lump Sum's better, Wolves is the best song on the album. Creature Fear is better. It's really I feel dirty saying this, but like
No, I know.
the Wolves Act 1 and 2, 5.5 minute long song, and just pure. Here's I will go as far as to say, I was having a conversation with some of my friends on Discord a few months back. We were talking about favorite songs. I don't think that I think The Wolves is the greatest piece of music I've ever heard.
Shit.
It transformed my understanding of the same way. This feels like a really like out of like pocket comparison, but RDR2 changed my perception of how good a game can be.
Okay.
The Wolves Act 1 and 2 from Bon Iver changed my perspective of how good music can be as a whole.
That's huge.
I listened to it and I was like, you know the meme where SpongeBob is like ascending to heaven.
Yeah.
And he's
Right,
like,
yeah.
that was me listening to the Wolves. I was fucking floored.
No.
I was like, this is not it. You know what it did? It pushed me from just thinking this is really good music that I'm listening to this is auditory art.
Yeah.
It's not just music. It is music, but it transcends into a new area of this is like I'm literally just listening to someone's pain right now.
That's
and
cool.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's not for everyone. There's a reason it doesn't have that many plays relative to the album. It's very stripped down. There's only like there's the guitar and they're singing, and then there's like a drum beat, but it's like on the guitar, and it's some of the song is kind of abrasive. I'm not gonna lie, but it's purposeful and meaningful, and it has intent, and it says something, and it's the most beautiful piece of music I've ever heard to date thus far.
That's huge praise.
And that's my critique.
No, I love it. That's awesome.
It's
just
wonderful.
super quick question for
Yeah.
you. Did you know that you loved it from the first listen, or was it a multiple listen situation?
No. Yeah. I like
That's a great thing to bring
it
up.
absolutely is. So like a lot of people, I didn't, I found this through it wasn't actually Skinny Love, it was Restacks.
Okay.
Which you've probably heard. It's another like really big one on the album. But then I heard Skinny Love, and obviously Skinny Love is a phenomenal song.
Yeah.
Amazing song. And then at one point, like months later, this is years ago, I was like, oh, I'll go and like listen to it. And when I like to listen to an album, I put it on my computer, I put my headphones on, these headphones. I turn all my lights off, I turn my keyboard lighting off, and I sit back in my chair and I lean back, I just close my eyes. I'm like, I'm just gonna listen to this whole thing in one shot. And I did that for Emma Forever Go, and I came out a changed person.
Nice.
Like I was like emerging from the cave, like got a beard, and I'm
Yeah.
I'm a different man
This
now.
is you coming out of the cabin.
Yeah.
After 3 months.
So it did take. It wasn't that it took multiple listens. It's just that I didn't experience it all at once.
Yeah.
And going into it, I feel like you have to. It's not that long of an album. It's only like 40 something minutes, I think.
Which isn't that long.
It's 37 minutes. That's
Yeah.
that's a relatively short album.
Yep.
And I feel like you have to listen to the whole thing in one shot. And I also feel like you can't listen to it as background.
Yeah.
I feel like you're doing the album a disservice if you're not actively listening. Like, sit down. You don't have to be in the dark, but like, put your headphones on, turn your phone off. Just be like, for the next 37 minutes, this album and I are having a dance, and it's beautiful. I don't even know what to say.
Isn't that interesting that like we dedicate? I'm going to be watching this movie for the next 2 hours.
Right.
Yeah. I will be.
Well, but we don't do that for music a lot of the time.
Yeah, and I've been trying to make more of an effort to like, or like if I'm reading for an hour, I'm dedicating this next hour to reading.
Which is a good way to,
But music only, in the terms of your traditional senses, music only really occupies one of them, and it's easy to like. In the traditional, like a movie, you have to watch and listen, and like
I get that.
You're missing more than half of the experience if you're not watching the film.
I get that.
But you can focus on like doing the dishes and listening to a song.
But my point is,
but you're missing a lot of the music.
Yeah, my point is that I don't think with music sometimes maybe we take it a little bit for granted, or we don't give it enough reverence.
Yeah.
That because it's easy to pair it with something else.
Yes.
I don't think I've genuinely tried to make an effort for this. When my friend, Dal recommended me to listen to Pimp a Butterfly, and then my friend Kobe did too, and I was like, because I loved Good Kid, Mad City so much, I kind of think that I should just like lie on the couch tonight and only like just not move and listen to this and like only focus on this.
The thing about Kendrick Lamar's music too is that it reminds me of, I don't want to say it reminds me of Bon Iver in like a literal sense, but it helps me
similar
like,
feelings.
Similar, like it conveys emotion in a similar sense of the fact like Kendrick, like he tells a very good story during the album.
Yeah.
Much the same as like maybe Bon Iver, you could see it as a story, you could see it as a full emotion, but it's a very emotional piece of music and album and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Which is really hard to find in hip hop, which is why I enjoy Kendrick Lamar so much,
Totally.
to be honest.
So I don't know. Forever Forever Go is just it is auditory perfection. Yeah. And I have yet to find. I'm not going to say I've yet to find anything that rivals it, because there's a lot of stuff that is in the same vein. But it's the top for me. It is the I was going to say it's what I compare stuff against, but that's not fair, and that's not how music works. So
I do think
it's the gold standard in my opinion.
Yeah. I think I would highly recommend it. I'll probably send it to you. I don't know if you will love it, but like I do think you should listen to Nick Drake's Pink Moon. I think it's a really, really good album. Yeah.
Oh, when you brought up listening to something more than once.
Yeah.
I think a lot of my favorite music comes from me listening to it more than once.
I agree.
I'll listen to it the first time, I'm like, I don't like this at all. Or like I like it a little bit, I'm like, okay, I'll give it some more shots. And like the third or fourth time, I'm like, this is my favorite for the next forever.
No, like, and I know I keep bringing it up, even though it's not what I have listed for my favorite album.
Right.
But Good Kid, Mad City.
Yeah.
Genuinely. Like, I had to listen to that a couple times to be like, oh wait, these are actually bangers.
Yeah. Like
the first time I was like, oh, this isn't my thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then as time went on, I just kept listening. I'm like, oh, this is really good.
Is your plan to go through the like eras of Kendrick? Are you going to
it's
like
tricky
commit yourself
because
to the artist? Or are you going to be like, pick around and find?
It's very tricky in that I listened to Pimp a Butterfly,
right,
and I didn't love it. I didn't think it was as good as Good Kid, Mad City,
right.
But I'm wondering if it's a situation where I need to give it another listen.
Right.
Probably,
yeah.
Here's what I've discovered.
Yeah,
if you're wondering if you need to give a song another listen, you do. End of
still
story.
in your brain.
End of story.
You're still thinking.
If you're like, do I need? Yes, the answer is yes.
Yeah, no, that's a great point.
I like that. That's a good.
It's just like, just go do it again.
Just why not? Yeah.
Run it back.
What do you have to lose?
Yeah, exactly.
3 minutes of my life.
Yeah, literally. Yeah.
Randy,
hey,
let's just keep going in this clockwise order.
Yeah, totally.
We want to throw to you, and do you want to discuss your
I would love to.
favorite album?
One of my favorite things, one of my things that I kind of wish we delved deeper into last episode, associating an album or a song with a memory.
Ooh, okay.
You know what I mean? That. Where like, where you were when you heard this song, or when it was most impactful for you, right? For my album, I think, as a lot of people have seen on my Instagram story, I've been featuring Camp a lot, CAAMP. Camp, dude, Camp. But so it's a weird situation in that like One of their songs made it into my Spotify algorithm, and I listened to it. I'm like, this is banging. And I left it and went to the next song, right? But then I went back and like went to that album because I was like, I really like this song. I want to see what else this person has done or this band has done. And I listened to that one, and I was like, oh, this is fantastic. But that's not the album I'm talking about because that was their first album, I believe. Their album called By and By. Sorry. Their album By and By. It was. Let me take you back. It was.
Let me take it back.
Let me take it back.
Take it back now, y'all.
It was fall of last year, and I was obviously not doing great. So I was trying to figure out how to, and this is what I wanted to get into later, but like my relationship with music has changed in that music acts more as a healer for me rather than a background noise. Or just like something to put on.
Right.
It's
totally understand what you're saying. Yeah.
It's much more impactful and it's much more I don't know. There's a word for it and I can't think of it right now.
I feel like kind of maybe what you're trying to say.
Yeah.
Or the way I look at it anyways. I can relate with music a lot more when I'm under more intense emotions.
Yeah. There's something about I just listen harder. It's a weird thing,
and you feel it more.
Yeah,
and there's like maybe it's because there's more built up inside,
and you start picking things from the song that you probably wouldn't have picked out
100%
in a different mindset or whatever. So I'm chilling in my apartment. I'm not doing well, and I'm working on this puzzle, and it's like a dog puzzle. It's just like
hell yeah,
yeah. You know, it was great. I love that puzzle.
It's actually a sick puzzle.
Yeah, I really like it. I have it framed.
Sick puzzle.
It is a sick puzzle.
I have it on my wall. It's stupid.
It's unreal.
So I listened to their first album, and I liked it, and I throw on the second album, and I'm listening to it as I'm doing this puzzle, and that was just a moment where I was like, man, music is doing something for me that I don't think anything else could do for me right now.
Yeah.
In helping me like it's again, it's very difficult to talk about, but like it helped bring my mind out of negativity, basically.
Right.
It helped bring my mind from like that pit and kind of
Right.
just helped me like back off a little bit. Is there any particular song on there that like really does that? No. It's just as a whole, that album did something for me when I needed it most.
Right.
And I think sometimes with media like movies or games or shows or books or whatever, sometimes something comes along where it hits right at the right moment. And the moment you needed it the most. I think this album for me, it's not my favorite album of all time. But recently, this has been one of the most important albums in my life for like quite a while.
Right.
Favorite song on there. There's a song called Moonsmoke, and it's like only like 2 minutes, 2:30. Did you mention Melancholic when you were talking about Bon Iver?
You said Melancholy.
Yeah. I associate that song with melancholy, but in a positive sense. And
like bittersweet, but like 65% sweet.
Yeah, actually, yes.
Yeah.
There's something about that song I have written down. It's hauntingly beautiful, and it's super simple. But there's just something about it where I'm listening to it. I'm like, every time it comes onto my playlist, I'm like, I either need to be in the right headset.
Or have the right headset on.
I gotta have the right headset.
Best headset around.
Paul's 3D headset. But no, I kind of have to be in the right mindset. Otherwise, it doesn't. I don't know. It's weird. It's weird in that like
I get what you're saying. It's hard to describe the effect of music.
And honestly, that was something I wanted to bring up later. Was that like I just don't have the vocabulary to talk about music.
I was thinking
I don't
about
have the vernacular.
Same thing.
Yeah.
I was like thinking about how like for this I was like how does music convey emotion? How does that transfer happen?
Yeah.
What in the music? I even looked it up on Google and started reading articles, and I was like, nobody fucking knows, man.
Well, and
like it's just a thing.
It's an entirely personal, private, independent experience.
Which I think is why it's so special.
Yeah.
Because it's so personal.
The way that the three of us process music, be it for something positive or negative emotionally, is completely different from the way I do it versus the way Randy does it versus the way Brad does it. Versus
Yeah.
And maybe not to get too disgustingly deep. I guess we're already in deep.
We're already deep.
But like, I feel like when you, as a person, you have like a piece of you that nobody else really gets. And I think everybody has that, right? Like,
Yeah,
it's
of course.
like you're thinking, and there's like an inner dialogue that isn't quite like you never fully show it to people, even the closest of people.
Yep.
And I think for some reason, music manages to just tickle that, like,
It works its way in there.
yeah, like that I can see you, like I understand
that's
you
a
kind of thing.
really fucking good way to put it.
Yeah, like
that's
that
an
I can
absurdly good way to put it.
like just like
Music knows some things about you that a lot of your closest people don't.
yeah, and even the
That's
person
fucking crazy.
making the music doesn't intend it that way, but the way you process it and the way it listens and everything like that is just like I feel like I am understood for this 2.5 minutes.
That is wildly beautiful.
Yeah.
Thanks, man.
I love that.
Thanks.
Good job.
Thanks.
But yeah, that's my album. That's the discussion I wanted to have.
Please
Also-
send it.
Yeah.
To the group.
Absolutely, I will.
Let's all send our albums.
Totally. I would love that. I think I had one more point that I wanted to bring up. Oh, yeah. So I was listening to it. I was listening back to it today when I was making my food.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like as I was listening to it today, where I'm in a much better place than I was back then. I'm getting different things out of it.
Your perception of the music changes.
Yeah,
it's a
and I think-
beautiful thing.
I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
I think it like lends to like repeatability of like music is not a transactional like, hey, one and done, we're done. I did the thing. I listened to it, you know. And I think that's kind of fucking cool. You know what I mean? Not even kind of. It's very cool. So yeah, that's my album talk.
Yeah, no. Brad, do you want to
Sure.
talk about it?
You guys were all have like this, like, oh, this emotionally changed me in every way.
No,
and, like
that's-
stuff like that. The album I picked was I gotta grab my phone 1 second.
Brad dropped his phone. Like
I didn't realize
20
you
minutes
never
ago.
picked it up.
Yeah, I was wondering.
I figured you would have.
I was like, fuck it, man.
Alright,
I don't
sure.
need that shit.
Yeah, why not?
Um,
Except
but-
you do.
yeah, I do need that shit right now. When We Were Friends by the Backseat Lovers was the album I picked. And it's mostly just because that's like one of those things that no matter what mood I'm in, it manages to change how I feel.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it doesn't matter if I'm sad or content or stressed or whatever.
That's the album I listened to.
Yeah, absolutely. It's
was
their
really good.
It's super
What
good.
what is it? Like, what genre?
It's
like, what
it's an alternative rock,
Okay,
or indie
yeah.
rock type thing,
Ooh.
but I
think
don't
you'd
even
like
know how you explain it. I really don't know how you explain it. Very groovy, very. I don't even know. I don't know how. I don't
And
have
that's the
vocabulary.
thing.
You
And
gotta
that's the
listen. You gotta
vocabulary.
listen to it.
It's that music thing that you can't.
It's
describe.
tricky.
It makes me happy. It makes me groovy. So
It's
I'm
hard to
like, hell
describe
yeah.
an experience, you know?
Yeah, and people I've shared music with, like I've shared this album with a lot of people, and
Yeah.
often I like have very bonding moments while we're listening to it.
Totally.
Everyone's like, dude, this is sick. And I'm like, yeah. And then I'm just grooving. I don't know.
That's why I'm glad we did this podcast like after me listening to it today, because I was
Mhm.
like, oh man, I gotta let Brad know that was a great show.
It's a really, really good one, and I can't recommend it enough. And I'm pretty sure I said the exact same thing last time.
Yep.
And for some reason, it just keeps wiggling its way back into my life. And
Totally.
I think we just might have hit a space where it wiggled its way back in.
Nice.
So, it's just in rotation. It's in the rotation, and right now that's my rotation I'm on.
That's awesome.
What's your favorite song on it?
What specific song?
Could you pick one, or you don't have to?
Yeah, for sure. Sinking Ship, I think, is one
that was
that
good.
it's a really good one. It's probably one of the more sadder songs in the thing, but for grooviness, Davy Crockett all the way.
Also good.
When I'm feeling happy and good, Davy Crockett's the one. If someone I know and I don't know their taste in music, and I chose a song to recommend, it would either be Davy Crockett or Kilby Girl. And that's where I'm going with that.
Yeah.
Those
Lovely.
are my recommendations.
That's awesome.
The whole thing's good though. Listen to it all.
Cool.
Highly recommend.
So we'll go on to the last point now, which is point 3, which is a lightning round.
Yeah.
We're gonna take turns. We'll all answer these questions, but we'll all try to keep it quite short.
Lightning.
Yes, lightning, like quick. So you get 4 words.
Let's
And
do it.
If you don't, I'll kill you.
That's only 3.
No.
I actually don't mind an idea like that.
Yeah.
I think restricting
I-
restricting what you can do increases your creativity.
Yeah.
For sure.
So the first one, I don't think we should do that, but like
No, 4 words.
words.
No,
4 words is
no.
too small.
That's a little bit.
So the first one we've got on the, I want to go last for this one.
Yeah.
The first one we've got is most underrated album, which is a really personal thing, but I feel like that's a fun and interesting topic. So let's continue clockwise. Randy, do you want to go?
Hey.
What's your most underrated album?
I kind of got a little like clever with this one. I think you might be like that's not underrated, and I'll give my reason for a second.
I'll let you finish. I'm not gonna let you finish.
Bo Burnham's Inside.
Okay.
Okay.
It's not so much underrated as in it's not popular, but I do think that people kind of like don't give it enough credit.
They kind
for
of
how
write it off.
Genius it is.
Yeah.
Like, there's something he does that's just insanely cool in that each song basically has 2 choruses that slap, that like are some of the like most catchy stuff that I've ever heard. And he does it twice per song, basically. And I'm just like, how are you doing this?
What kind of a genius are you?
Honestly, though. And it's it's obviously a perfect pairing with inside the comedy special / Netflix or whatever it is.
He's quite the genius, actually.
Lyrically and like it's so smart, and it's so difficult to do comedy that works. And obviously, comedy is subjective. Maybe you don't think it's funny, whatever. Right. But you can't deny how kind of fucking awesome. I don't know.
The thing about comedy, and the more and more I've seen comedy, the more I get it, is like every word is important, every pause is important, everything is important, and they've trial and errored it a million times.
So many times, absolutely.
You're looking at the most refined product of comedy someone can put out,
and we see that in the actual like inside short or special itself.
Yeah, the special,
but
unreal.
I think the album itself is very much a masterpiece in terms of comedic writing, but also like emotional writing, because like everybody talks about like that funny feeling, you know what I mean, or like all eyes on me. But yeah, that's my lightning round. Sorry.
Okay,
going quick.
That was not a lightning round.
I tried.
Brad, do you wanna? What's your most underrated album?
Sure. Give me just 1 second. I never remember names of things. How to Get Back by Yoshi T. You would like this guy. Very, very similar to Mac Miller. Literally was looking at like, oh, you like Luckily, you like this guy. And then I listened to some of his songs, and it's only 5 songs in the album.
Perfect.
Very underground. One of them has, I don't know, 952 plays.
Oh, shit.
So it's like, but one of them has blown up, but really good artist.
I forgot I was going to bring a pen to this and start, and like instead of just being like, yeah, I'll remember that. I was going to write down every recommendation you guys gave me.
Right.
We'll figure that out.
I also
you have a phone.
I'll talk about this one later.
Oh, you are holding a mic though.
Yep.
So.
There was a weird thing I came across later, but I'll talk about that later because I don't know the name of it.
Because lightning has struck.
Lightning struck. I've already struck.
Struck.
Done.
Struck.
What did you say?
Struck.
Lightning is strick.
Lightning strikes.
Okay.
Okay.
My turn?
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Here's my, I don't want to, it's not really a hot take, but like, do you guys remember back in high school when you were just chilling, vibing, not giving a care in the world,
relaxing, maxing, all cool,
and suddenly, out of nowhere, a random album that you didn't buy popped up in your iTunes
I
library?
never had this.
But you know about it.
I know about it, but
Brad,
I never
do you know
had
about
this,
it?
yeah.
What? The U2 album.
Yeah.
The picture of the guy holding the other guy.
Yeah.
Do you remember this?
No.
Okay. Well, all right. Well, you guys
everybody's listening to this who
fucking
knows what it is.
Yeah,
Probably
a
everyone
lot of
knows
people
that,
listen.
yeah.
So remember when that random U2 album popped up into your? Yeah. So you know about it.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's called "Songs of Innocence" by U2. It's a U2 album, obviously. If you don't know U2, that's pretty tragic. But specifically, they released a version called Songs of Innocence Deluxe. Sometimes it's just called Songs of Innocence and then like a plus sign. And Songs of Innocence was their original album. And Songs of Innocence Deluxe was the album plus acoustic versions of all the songs they made. But the album they gave out just had the acoustic versions.
Yeah.
I remember everyone, myself included, being absolutely livid at this random album showing up in their mix and screwing everything up. And remember, this is back before Apple Music and like Spotify was a thing. But,
and you couldn't delete it. That was the thing.
And it was back when you were like playing the music locally, right? Like you weren't streaming it. Well, not really, but some people were. But and everyone was like super mad, and like it generated a lot of like angry responses, and like it got media attention. And, so I remember like. It was in my album, and I was angry about it, and never could get rid of it. And come, I don't know, maybe 2019, 2020, I'm like going through my musical metamorphosis. I'm like experimenting with all these new genres, listening, and I was looking through my old phone, and I was like, man, this album, I got it for free. I'm listening to new music. Might as well give it a shot, right? I'm almost done. I know it's lightning round. Listen to it, start to end. one of the most banging albums I have ever
Hell yeah.
heard. It's not like really emotional. There's a couple sad songs, but if you are still angry about the U2 thing, which
I don't know if anybody's holding that grudge, but
maybe there's some people.
God, I never got over it.
I fucking hate them. Please go give it a listen. Specifically, the acoustic versions of all the songs, because the other ones, the original versions are like pop. Versions, but then the new ones are like acoustic and indie and super fun.
They actually added a new track on there. It's called "We're Sorry About the iTunes Thing."
Can't really call a band U2 indie, but like there's the vibe of indie, and it's absolutely wonderful.
Nice.
So banging,
Hell yeah.
and super underrated because nobody gave it a shot.
No.
Okay.
They hated it.
Ooh,
A lot of people fucking hated
No,
it.
Can I huck another one in there? Like really, really quick?
Real quick.
It's called Flying on the Beat by Trash Panda.
Okay.
Literally just came across them randomly. The song has like no place at all.
What is it?
It's 403.
No, but like the genre.
Oh, it's indie.
Okay.
Indie rock. It's really similar to Backseat Lovers.
Nice.
The rest of their songs I couldn't vibe with as much. But
Okay.
this one
Yeah,
called
so
Flying
that
on
happens
the Beat,
sometimes.
It does.
Yeah.
This one called Flying on the Beat is one of the catchiest and very groovy. Nice. So I would recommend that someone else listen to it.
Okay. So let's go into the second question. I can't read my phone, which is, have you had a light bulb moment in listening to music where you found a new appreciation or understanding for something in music?
This is so funny because it's like supposed to be a lightning round, but like I feel like this requires like getting into it.
Sure, but like it doesn't though.
Well, yeah. Do you want to go?
You go first.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. Wow. I was about to offer it him. He's the host.
I'm still like formulating my thoughts, honestly.
Great. Awesome. Light bulb moment. I was watching a video essay on Outer Wilds. I sent it to you before this. My favorite game of all time. In it, he mentioned how the guy who was doing the video essay, he mentioned how if he was in an introspective mood, he put on specific tracks from the Outer Wilds playlist.
Right.
And that got me thinking, like, in a light bulb type way. Help me understand that instead of throwing everything onto one playlist, it might be cool to make dedicated, like, a cooking playlist or a wonder playlist or something like that. Like,
I have a shower playlist.
Yeah,
Songs
exactly.
I only because I don't listen to sad shit when I'm in the shower.
Yeah.
Right.
I listen to Home Away. When I'm like in the shower, I'm like vibing. Yeah, no. That's a banger song.
Yeah, and I think that like I got to get better at that because I usually all I do is like, okay, add it to my liked songs, and then I'll hit shuffle on my liked songs,
Right.
and I just go through all of that, and like sometimes it'll be fucking I Got Friends on the Other Side from The Princess and the Frog, or sometimes it will be like some other song, but like it's very wildly inconsistent. So I think it might be a good idea to start categorizing things into different moods or different like seasons, like you were talking about.
Right.
Yeah.
I think it's a great idea.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Ding.
Brad?
Okay, lightning round. Was thinking about the importance of not having any sound in music. I forget what song it was. It might have been Bon Iver, honestly, where it's like music is very, especially hip hop, especially things. There's never dead space. There is, but there isn't. And I think
just a constant wall of sound.
Yeah, and I think in Bon Iver's album, like you spoke about before, or even just in talking, that the space in between is just as important as the actual music, if not more important. Same thing with comedy and pretty much any creative audio is that space is very important. And I don't know. I thought about that one day.
No, that's
wow, cool.
Absolutely. That's the song I was talking about, The Wolves from from Bon Iver, that album from Forever Ago. That's like a lot of that album is like not dead space, but like it's like silence.
Yeah.
And not a lot, there's large like 3-second gaps of just like the music feels like it's breathy. Like the music feels like it's breathing.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, I
and
like that.
It plays directly into that because it wouldn't be the same without those spaces.
No, if you played all the sounds and there was no spaces, it would sound like shit, probably. Compared to what it sounds like now.
It's Bon Iver. Wouldn't sound like shit. Don't say that.
But,
no Bon Iver slander in this booth.
Are you fucking kidding me right now?
Get out.
Take it back.
On the ground.
But I mean, like, some of his songs would be so short if you took out all of the space in between.
That song, The Wolves, would probably be like half maybe like it would lose like 30% of its play length if you took out all the empty space.
For sure.
But it's so important for the song.
Ridiculously important.
Okay. I will do mine now. Light bulb moment. Mine is more, I don't want to say like technical, but like once I went to because I'm like the composer, right? I'm doing all the music theory. And so once I went to the university and started taking cello lessons, and I was doing theory lessons on the side with my teacher. So we'd spend hours together doing theory and learning about theory. And I started. This is so fucking nerdy, but like I at one point I started. I started appreciating and understanding chord structure a lot more, and it's to the point now where it's not that I'm recognizing chord patterns in songs, because I am, but I can I'm recognizing the step deeper into chord patterns, which is like the cadence of the song. So a song will come on and I'll go, oh, that's an Andalusian cadence, or a song will come on and I'll, oh, that's a 1-2-5 in the key of C or whatever.
Sure.
And it's like kind of nerdy, but I feel a little like happy whenever that happens. Like a song will come on and I'll go, oh, that's a 1-5-6-4.
Yeah.
And I'll just go, yeah, I recognize what that is. And it's just, I don't know, it just when that happens, I'm just like, big 2 thumbs up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sure.
It's just fun. I don't know.
That happens with me with films now, because I took 2 film classes in university, and now anytime I see a shot in a movie where it's slightly tilted, I'm like, that's a Dutch angle.
It's like 100% a thing. It's like when you understand something creative more and more, you start to realize
deepen the appreciation.
Yeah, exactly. And I think, obviously, like you said, for music, you have to listen to it a few times.
Yeah.
And I think it's kind of the same concept.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I remember this part. Oh, he did this here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, in filmmaking, where we did this at the college, where the camera is like pointed at the person's face, and the camera moves back.
Yep.
But their face is like getting like wider, and we did that at the college on our dollies, and it was
nice.
a super fun shot to do. Really hard, actually.
Yep.
Quite difficult.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's the second. There's one more question for the lightning round. This one will probably be pretty quick. It's, do you know what the last song to make you cry was?
Are we looking at me?
I don't know.
Do you want me to go?
When did you cry, Randy?
When did you cry? I want you to know.
I need to know.
Cry
Randy.
right now.
I'll punch you in the face.
I'll play you a song to put you to cry. Put you to cry.
I can play you a song where I can punch you in the face.
Love that song.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. This was actually a really interesting, and like not actually as in like actually good job, Dan.
I'm surprised.
Yeah.
You come up with dog shit questions.
No, that's not true. No, I found this to be a really interesting question, because like with media, I usually remember the things that make me cry, because it's not usually like a common occurrence. But like, those times when you cried, like when you're watching a movie and you're like, oh, I know that movie. Like, I think I have on Letterboxd a list of movies. I'm like, films I cried to, and it gets bigger every day.
Hell yeah,
That's
good.
Yeah, because
every single hour of my life, I be bawling, and not in the good way. I'm fucking crying, dog.
So recently, another camp song, and I know I'm like not harping.
No, you like
I'm shouting out camp a lot. They have a song called, and the song doesn't reflect, like the song title does not reflect the emotion, like the impact it has on me anytime it comes on.
Right.
It's called Strawberry Milkshake.
Okay.
And I know, yes, I know. But anytime that song comes on and I hear the first few chords, I genuinely just like, I'm like, I can't do this right now. Like, I can't do this right now.
Yeah, no, I have songs where you go, I can't listen to this right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very real.
But then when you do listen to it, it just, like, there's something about that song, the way I don't know what it is, and I can't even tell you what it's about, but there's just something about it where I'm just like, man, this is really fucking me up right now. Love it. Yeah. It makes me cry. Banger.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. If it makes you cry,
weird.
It's a banger.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Actually. And then 2 other shout outs, I won't go into them, but Johnny Cash's cover of Solitary Man, there's one part in there where his voice wavers and it gets me every time.
Right.
And I don't know how he does it.
By being an old fucker.
Yeah, exactly. Dude, that'd be a tangent and a half.
Let's not. Tangent and a half. You talking about Johnny Cash? Yeah.
No, about like how old people make me cry.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I relate.
And then
100%.
walking to school last week, I was just walking to class, and from City and Color, love City and Color, like that live album that they have, incredible.
Right.
They have a song called "Oh Sister," and I was listening to it, and I was like hearing the words, and I was like, I'm tearing up before I go to my fucking class right now. What the hell is happening?
You're walking in the street.
No, honestly though,
Mornings be hitting like that, man.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah.
I feel very introspective in the morning sometimes,
Totally.
especially when I'm listening to music.
Same.
I feel angry in the mornings.
You
That's
wake
fair.
up.
I wake up and I'm like, rah, rah.
I'm not supposed to be up for like another 8 hours.
Yeah, I have the angry moodlet from Sims 4.
Yeah, exactly.
His little octopus plushie is on the angry side.
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. So that's my.
He wakes up, he flips it angrily.
Pets it angrily.
You're so cute. Fuck.
Brad, do you want to talk about what's the last song that made you cry? Do you know?
Yeah. When I looked at the question, I was like, oh, I don't remember. I was like, oh, I'm a man. I don't cry songs. And then I was like, oh no, 3 weeks ago I was listening to Lo-fi in my car, or Lo-fi. Sorry, I gotta get that.
You fixed it. Thank you.
Weirdly enough, I think again, to harp on Lo-fi is that it gave me space to think, and then I was just thinking, and then I was like, oh,
that can be
there's a double tier.
That's a separate thing where it's like the music doesn't necessarily have to make you cry. The music, like in that instance, did the music make you cry, or did the music enabling you to have that time to think?
Mm-hmm.
Is that the same thing?
Right? Maybe. I don't know.
That's a different question. That's a different question. Yeah.
I was listening to it when I cried.
Yeah.
And it was like a little.
It was part of it.
It was a little two-tier. I was like, okay, I'm good now.
Yeah.
But it was definitely like a wow.
Yeah. That's very nice. That sounded really dismissive. I'm sorry. I don't know. I don't know how to like capitalize on that.
It's not. It's weird to see another person be like, "Oh yeah, I cried," and then like say something that's like actually
neat.
Yeah. To be like, I got to talk about something else now.
Yeah. It's like, oh yeah.
No, that's wonderful. My last song that made me cry was last night when I was listening to Frama forever ago.
Yeah, of course.
And you know what it was? I wasn't even sad. I was just fucking floored.
Yeah.
Because
was an emotional cry.
It's just it was all cries are emotional.
It's almost like empathy, I would say.
It was like I couldn't you know what it was? I was crying because I couldn't understand how another human being on this planet wrote something like this and produced something like this on his own,
or even what they had to go through in order to write it.
It's a whole ordeal, and I was crying last night, and I was like, I don't know why. I said out loud, I was like, I don't know why. I don't even know why. I don't even know why I'm crying, and I'm like wiping my fucking tears away.
Yeah,
I know it was good. When you ever cry and not because you're sad, but because you're just so unimaginably overwhelmed by emotion?
There's definitely examples. I can't think of them off the top of my head, but yeah, totally.
I'll be honest, that happens to me actually pretty frequently.
Yeah.
I would say like probably at least maybe not once a week, but more frequently than twice, once every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I'll be like, sometimes it happens when something like really like funny happens, and I'll be like, I'm just like so into it, I'm vibing so hard, and I'm like, I don't even know why I'm crying.
Yeah,
I'm not sad.
Yep.
I have cried more than one time while laughing so hard I couldn't stop, and then it just slowly transitioned into a weird thing where I was like,
that sucks.
Like, okay,
you're like, I don't want to laugh anymore.
Yeah.
Like it hurts.
Yeah.
Laughing till you
Make it
hurt.
stop.
Yeah. That's the last topic of the lightning round.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you guys want to discuss?
I have one lightning round thing.
Okay, let's hear it.
Okay. Shout out to everybody giving me
Surprise.
recommendations. I'm just going to shout out like 7.
Surprising.
And I'm not even going to I'm not going to get into
Okay,
them. I'm just
let's
going to say
hear
the names. Sunbuck. Somebody told me.
What is that? Is it an album? Is it a song?
These are all artists.
Okay.
Yeah. Sunbuck is basically the lead singer from Camp that went off to do his own thing.
Oh, nice.
City in Color, obviously, Mike, I appreciate
City
that.
in Color, yeah,
that was
love
great.
City in Color.
J. Cole, incredible album. Good lord. Kendrick, obviously. I got recommended Even the Darkness Has Arms, which is a song by the Bar Brothers, and I can't stop listening to that one. My friend Kobe told me about Childish Gambino's album Awaken My Love. Love it. It was great. And Noah Kahan. Kahan.
I think it's Khan.
Is it just Noah Khan?
I just call him Khan. Yeah.
Okay, my bad.
Yeah.
Every time I've heard it, I've called it just Khan.
Yeah.
Darian loves Noah Khan.
And then some that weren't like recommended to me, but I just found Jacob Banks is like one of the incredible.
I've heard of.
Really good.
Yeah.
Black Pumas. Obviously, you and I have talked about that.
They did Colors.
Yes.
You told me to listen.
Listen to the rest of that album.
Okay.
The rest of that album is also banging.
Okay, I listened to that when I was like,
exactly. It's so good. And then my other two, I don't know why I wrote these down. Sabaton and Jim Croce.
What the fuck, Sabaton?
No, I love Sabaton.
Whoa, that is out of nowhere.
Well, dude, I don't know. There's
No,
something,
I love
there's something
it.
about like Swedish
It
rock
goes so
when
hard.
you're in the gym on the treadmill and he's singing about like the Red Baron. And I'm like, this is the best thing in the world. I'm so hyped up right now.
Like every turn of this podcast has been like indie, really like down tempo.
What are you crying to?
Yeah.
Sabaton. Holy fuck.
Yelling, screaming about the war.
Oh yeah, I totally get it.
That's hilarious.
It's great. Those are my other things.
Lovely. My shout out is Coheed. Always love Coheed. Coheed
Yep.
and Cambria. Can never get enough of them.
Yeah.
I ain't got no shoutouts.
I discussed everything I wanted to.
Yeah, I got no shoutouts.
The other thing I wrote down was music has now fills my silence, but not in an avoidance way, and more of a like, hey, it's just nice to have this as
It's
something
there.
in my in my life.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, this was great discussion.
This was a great
Great
discussion.
discussion.
Well, if that's it, I don't think there's anything else to discuss.
Except thank you.
Thank you.
Hey.
What's that?
Do you hear that?
What's that?
Is that music?
Music.
Wait a minute.
I wrote a banging song last night.
Oh.
I kind of want to share it like after the episode.
Oh, that's great.
That'd be a great time to do it, I think.
Oh, no, not he's not saying in the episode. But
No,
like,
I'm
to
gonna show you
us.
guys later.
Privately.
It wouldn't fit.
No.
It would be like really out of left field.
Like,
But yeah, I just wanted to
Right,
shout
you
out.
do the thank you.
Yeah, I got you. Obviously, Daniel, thank you.
Thank you.
You create great music.
Thank you, me.
Thank you. Brad, thank you.
yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Brad.
Thank you.
No,
Thank you, Dan.
Daniel.
Thank you,
Oh,
Rand.
Randy, man, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Russ, what?
Yeah, Russ.
What?
But also,
Immediately, what's up?
so, thank you for editing our podcast as
Yes.
well. We really appreciate that. I
Got
don't
you.
have any money to pay you someday.
Yet.
Yet.
Someone please sponsor us.
Yeah.
Chili Chutney.
Hey.
You follow me on Instagram.
Help us out, homie.
Please give us. Did I tell you that Chili Chutney follows me on Instagram?
That's awesome.
It's so fucking
That's unreal.
stupid.
Great lunch special.
Also want to thank the Creation Nation Makerspace. Obviously,
Butter
fantastic.
chicken's delicious.
It's so good.
Obviously, fantastic place to be down here.
Yeah, I know
and
the
they
butter
really
chicken
help
is
us-
obviously fantastic.
Shut up. Just let me get through this. And yeah, obviously, Creation Nation Makerspace. Come check them out. They're
Yes.
great and really great people down here.
Love
And then obviously, thank you.
Thank you, listeners.
Once again, great reception. Go check out that media draft episode. We'd really appreciate bumping those numbers up.
Mom, I told you to listen to it last.
Honestly, I would really. That would be great. I don't know why I did that. But yeah.
Because you're cool as fuck, apparently.
Yeah,
He
fucking
put his foot up on the table
Yeah,
like
That was pretty
like a
badass,
detective. Smoking a pipe.
Yeah.
Smoking a motherfucking pipe.
Whoa.
So yeah.
I think that's it. Thank you for. It just ends right there.
You should just start cutting there.
I think that's it.
that's it.
And then 30 seconds of music pad. But yeah, that was our music episode 2. That was a long episode,
Yep.
but that was great. I feel like
great
we need a third episode.
Guess what?
So-
We probably will.
because
will,
we're
yeah.
the well ain't super deep.
Yeah, let me tell you, this is a shallow well.
it's also not wide either. It just kind of
It's
sucks.
just a little hole.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning in. Please go watch the episode of the film draft. Please watch the shorts. And thank you so much for listening. We'll see you again in 2 weeks. Just kidding. We'll see you in 1 week when the short comes out.
Absolutely.
It'll be done an hour before it goes out.
Hell yeah.
Thank you so much for listening and catch you next time.
Bye.
Bye. You guys have a good day.
I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Go listen to Forever, Forever Ago by Boy Iver. I don't know what to